Hello, everyone, and welcome to tonight's edition of the Next Gen Genealogy Network Education Hangout. My name is Shannon Combs Bennett, and I'm the Education Chair of the Leadership Committee. And I'm very excited to be talking to you tonight about educational opportunities in the genealogical field. It was a question that came up on our Facebook page, and we've discussed at Hangouts in the past. If you've been able to come to some of our Hangouts at various genealogical conferences, or even just a few members getting together at a local society meeting, education and furthering one's education as a genealogist is always an important avenue to look at. It gives you the knowledge you need to be a successful researcher in your own family history. If you want to become a successful professional, you need to keep up with your skills as well as understand the aspects of business and client work and all those types of things. So tonight, what I did was I broke down the different possibilities of places that you can find educational opportunities, either online or in person, as well as the few places that you can get a degree. And it is possible to get a degree in family studies or genealogy. It's just not it's not at every single university out there. Let's just put it that way. Now, of course, I want to put out there that a great place to go and online and get a good breakdown, it's constantly updated, would be Cindy's list. She has a really good list of educational opportunities, both online, webinar, in person, and it's a good variety too. So if you're interested in seeing what else is out there besides these that I pulled, I encourage you to go look. And of course, a simple Google search will also pull up all sorts of things. But let's talk about online educational institutions, not including webinars, because that's a whole different category of education all by itself. But these are places that you can go and get certificates through, take classes through, really get some fundamental education going. And of course, the first one would be the oldest out there, which is the um, National Institute of Genealogical Studies, which is based out of Toronto. They started in 1999, so they've been around for a little while, 16 years, more than that maybe, if I can do the math correctly in my head. They actually offer certificate programs where you get a PLCGS, Professional Learning Certificate in Genealogical Studies, and they have certificate programs in American Records, Australian, Canadian, English, German, Irish, librarianship, methodology, professional development, and Scottish records. So quite a lot. A lot of their classes are written by leaders in the field as well as PhDs in their field of studies, particularly the historical research ones. If you've never heard of them before, it might be something to check out. Fair warning, I am a student there, so I felt like I needed to mention them because they are one of the standard institutes for online learning, but I also felt I needed to let you know that they are there. I am getting an American Record certificate right now, and while the first year as a seasoned researcher wasn't that too difficult, now that I'm into the intermediate and I'm sure it's getting a little harder, and I'm sure the advanced certificate will be, at least the advanced portion of it will probably be a little challenging for me, seeing that as I only started my research 5 years ago. So I'm still a fairly new researcher in a lot for genealogy. I was a researcher in other fields before that, so at least I didn't come completely new to the arena of research. The other one you can think about is the National Genealogical Society has online classes. They don't do the home study anymore, but they've instituted a new program of shorter modules. I would suggest you go check it out. It's really interesting. It's the same intensity I would like to, I think, but it's just broken up into different segments instead of being that huge binder they used to send out or the CDs. It's a little different now. The other thing that you should look at is Family Tree University. They have a series of online classes that you can take, and they also do a virtual genealogy conference 2 times a year, which is a 3-day conference totally from the comfort of your own home. So if you've ever wanted to attend a large scale conference but have not been able to get out, and you're interested to see how a virtual one might work, this is always a good one to look at. And then finally is the new one, the Virtual Institute of Genealogical Research, which only started this year. They have basically, I want to call like mini workshops, like several classes. They run for 90 minutes, 2 to 3 times, maybe more, a few more than that, where you get a lecture, homework. If you, they have a plus and a regular category that you can purchase the classes. And if you get the plus, you actually get some extra one-on-one type time with the instructor. So it's really interesting. Definitely something to sponsor and keep going. I'd love to see where this goes in the future. Now, webinars are a big source of education for genealogists. A lot of us have full-time jobs. A lot of us, especially if you're retired or you're disabled, you may not be able to travel as much. I know with me having kids, it can be difficult to do everything I want to do. So I really like webinars because I can schedule them and then work my schedule around them without having to worry about a hotel and getting there and meals. It's, from the luxury of my own home. Of course, there's legacy webinars, which is, I guess, one of the most popular ones. I see it advertised all the time. I've taken a few through there. They're really well done. Family Tree University also has webinars. They usually do 2 a month. Um, the New England Historical and Genealogical Society also has a webinar series if you haven't checked that out. Obviously, it's more focused towards their subject matter. They do other things besides outside New England. Um, BCG has webinars. And then, of course, don't forget, oh, and Family Search. FamilySearch.org has a fantastic learning center, especially if you're just beginning or you know someone who's just beginning and you would like to point them in how to do research and find records the correct way. Make sure you point out their webinar series. And then I want to point out that a lot of societies, regional ones, state level ones, are now doing webinar series for their members, and some are doing them for non-members too. So you should always check to see if some society local to you, or maybe across the country or in a different country, has a webinar series that you would like to get involved in. It would be really beneficial to you to hear somebody else's perspective. And then don't forget that while this isn't really a webinar, a lot of conferences are now doing live streaming of certain lectures and presentations. It is well worth it if you cannot attend a national or a large regional conference of that type, and they offer a live streaming. If there's at least 2, maybe 3 presentations on there that pique your interest, it's well worth the money just so you can have the experience to that level of speakers and that caliber of a lecture. Now, there are also on-site programs. So if you are lucky enough to be in the area of a university that offers an on-site ability to learn about family history and genealogy, take advantage of it. One of these days, I want to be able to attend one of these week-long programs. It may be after my youngest graduates from high school, but we'll see how that happens. First of all, there's the Institute of Genealogical and Historical Research, IGHR, which is held in Samford University. Now, they are currently looking for a new home. They just finished last week, I think, with the 2015 institute, but it's something to keep in mind. It's really well done. People rave about it. It's definitely something to go check out. There is limited attendance, as with most of these programs. So if it sounds like something you want to go do, sign up early. The other one is NIGR, the National Institute of Genealogical Research. Now, it is on hiatus until 2016. They lost their director this year, and a new one came in, and they are in the process of getting all that set up. So they are not having one in the summer of 2015, but they will come back next year. And that is held at the National Archives in Washington, D.C., and is a great program for anyone who wants to learn more about research at the archives. The other one is GRIP, which is the Genealogical Research Institute of Pittsburgh. They hold two one-week sessions a year just outside of Pittsburgh. Well worth it. Usually 3 to 4 different tracks. You sign up for track to take the whole week, homework and the whole bit. Stay in the dorms. I've told it's a lot of fun. And then, of course, there's SLIG, the Salt Lake Institute of Genealogy. So if you can make it out to Salt Lake City, of course, having a week at the Family History Center, who would pass that up, right? And then if you're interested or you can get to Europe, there's also IHGS, which is the Institute of Heraldic and Genealogical Studies. And I have to say, if you've never checked out their website, you should really do that. It is very fascinating. It's one of those things that I would definitely, if I was able to do that and lived over there, I would be checking out. But some of you may know that I'm a heraldry geek at heart. So it has heraldry in there. Of course, I want to go check it out. Now, um, certificate and degree programs. BYU has online and in-person options. Some are paid, some are free, so make sure you check that out. And if you can get to BYU, you can, earn a bachelor's degree. The University of Washington also has a certificate in genealogy and family history, but you do have to be on site for that. At this time, I was not able to locate, and I do not know of any online opportunities for that. But if you can get there, it's worth it. And then, of course, there is the Boston University Certificate in Genealogical Research. I am a BU alumni of OL 13, so the online course number 13. I took that in the fall of 2013, actually. And it's a really good program. It's very intense. It's 15 weeks long, and you come out of it a better researcher and a better genealogist. I will put it that way. The price tag may seem a little daunting, but if you can put in the hours and are able to keep up with the pace, it's well worth it. And of course, there is also Strathclyde, which offers an online and an in-person program. And you can earn a diploma, and you could also get a Master's of Science in Genealogical Studies, which is one of those also wish list things that I have. One of these days, I want to be able to do that when I get rich and famous, right? And win the lottery and all those types of things. And I can do everything in the world I want to. But the importance is no matter which of these you choose, if you choose any of them at all, and how you decide to spend your time and your money, don't forget that education, especially in our line of work, is critical. We are primarily a self taught field. You need to learn with others. You need to be able to learn by yourself. You need to be able to pick up a book and digest it, pick up a pamphlet, attend a webinar, and really incorporate all the information that is presented out there in a good manner back to yourself. Take notes, do whatever you need to do because, like I said, unless you have, and even in some instances, this isn't necessarily the best, but library degrees, history degrees. I have a science degree. It taught me the basics of how to research and be a good scientist. But until I started researching genealogy, I had never picked up a book. I had never taken a class on it before. And I quickly learned that it can be very daunting if you do it by yourself. So I encourage you to get together with friends, do study of the quarterly journals, take online classes together, have coffee breaks, share information, tweet, Facebook, whatever you need to do to help educate everybody and keep everyone on the cutting edge of the latest research, especially in your chosen fields. Well, I hope you all had a great evening and enjoyed this presentation. I know I had a lot of fun doing research on the different options out there, and I look forward to talking to you all next month, sometime in July. Have a good night, everybody. Thanks for attending.